Hi, this is Cheyenne Valentine, here again today with a new episode. I want to talk about childless women. I want to talk about this because this subject is near and dear to my heart. I am currently 31 years old and I don't have any kids. I know some women that are 31 and up who don't have kids, or 30 and up, feel like it's like some type of badge of honor, like, oh, I'm young, I'm not in my 20s, but I'm still considered kind of young, and I don't have any kids, but I'm still considered older for not having kids. So 30 is a peculiar age because 30 and up, the 30s is a peculiar age because you're not considered young, but you're not considered old. But if you don't have kids at 30, you're considered, you're like weird, because they're like, oh my god, you're 30 years old, you're that old with no kids, but then you're not considered like old or whatever. So it's a very weird age, and I want to talk about it because as a childless woman, I found that it's really not much to brag about. I'm gonna tell you why. Because number one, when you don't have kids and you're 30, most people you meet have kids. So, maybe when you were 20 or 21 and you didn't have kids, meeting another guy that around the age that didn't have kids, it was, kind of easy to find. Now it's harder to find. So you're kind of in a small bubble, because if you're trying to only date men who don't have kids, you're going to be, you can find it, but you got to really search for it. Number two, I noticed when I first came down here, I tried to get, I think, food stamps. I'm not ashamed of saying that. When I first moved down here, and before I went back to college, I first moved down here, I was around like 21, 22. I tried to get food stamps. I was staying with my boyfriend's sister, and I didn't have no kids at the time, but oh my god, of course I didn't have any kids. I don't have any now. Excuse me. Anywho, I mentioned that because I was younger, and I noticed that I learned then at 21, 22 that when you don't have kids as a woman, you don't get any fucking help. Let me repeat that again. If you are a woman with no kids, you don't get any fucking help. And I learned that a long time ago. It was so, the lady didn't even want to give me food stamps. She made me something. I left some of my important information there and had to go back and get it. Like, cause she had a stank attitude, and then too, it's just like when you don't have kids, they don't want to fucking help you. And I remember someone making a video about this. It's like, and also, so that's one point. Also, when you don't have kids, you see that the women that do have kids get all the help. And it makes you kind of bitter. You're like, wow, I decided to wait until I found a guy who wanted to be married, who was financially stable. I decided to wait till marriage to have kids, and then also some years into the marriage, wait till I'm financially stable and be married to a man who wants kids, who's financially stable himself. I decided to do that, but yet I feel like I'm being penalized, and I do feel like I'm being penalized. Even with trying to go back to school, not being able to get. I noticed I was looking for like scholarships and grants to go back to school, and I noticed they had some for moms and I need child care, and and I'm not saying those benefits should be taken away. I'm not saying that, because I can get pregnant tomorrow and end up being a single mom, but I'm just saying that it seems like it is where you get penalized for doing things by the book. That's why I don't know if doing things by the book is the best thing anymore, because they tell you go to college, get a career, then get married and have kids. Well, everybody don't follow that formula, and you don't have to. But the people who do, if things aren't working out, or you want to go back to school, or you're not making enough money, and you need some help, you're fucked. And I'm saying that right now, I'm fucked. And no pun intended. Okay. And so being a woman that's 30 without any kids is not all that glamorous. Like I said, the men you meet, most of them have kids, so you gotta deal with baby mama drama, which isn't fair to you. Also, you date a man with a kid, if he gets his kids on a weekend, like, okay, so all week you guys are working, and you probably don't go out after work. You should though, but you probably don't. And on a weekend when you have time for you guys to do stuff, he has his kids, so he has to do. So if I'm gonna be spending my free time with a child, I might as well have one on my own. Even though I love his kid as my own, I'm just saying, you date a man with a kid, you have to make a sacrifice, and that's up to you. And it's not about dating a guy with a kid. It's about the older you get, most people are going to have kids. And so if you just want someone that don't have kids like you, the older you get, the harder it's going to be to find. That's my point. Also, like I said, I found myself to be jealous of the women who did have kids, because they can get, like, okay, for example, in our apartments, a lady downstairs, she had a 3-bedroom apartment. She had 3 or 4 kids. She would have people over all the time. She was selling weed. I think she was fucking for money. She worked only part-time at the gas station. She had company over midnight. The police were called over here 3 or 4 times by neighbors, and she got kicked out. But she didn't care, because she's on Section 8, so she could get another Section 8 apartment. You know what I mean? Like, my boyfriend overheard outside on the phone saying, "Oh my God, I'm tired of not having anything." Well, not to be nasty or rude, but you sat there and had 3 or 4 kids out of wedlock, and so you kind of set yourself up to be a single mom, and then I'm not telling you to only target rich men, but if you're gonna have kids out of wedlock, I think maybe you should target rich men, so at least you can get some child support that can take care of you and your kids. And if you're gonna have kids out of wedlock, I mean, wouldn't it be logical to pick somebody who can actually help take care of your kids? Like, I don't get it. So she picked men who didn't have nothing, just like she didn't. And so just seeing, like, if we are late on our rent, we're gonna get kicked out, and we're gonna get late fees, and then we're gonna get kicked out. We've been here for almost 5 or 7 years, and I think we've been over here like 5 years, and no, I'm not quite sure, maybe like 5 years. And I think we were late, a day late on our rent, and we've been here all this time. This first time ever being late on the rent, and they made us pay, the $50 late fee. You know what I'm saying? Just ruthless, fucking ruthless. That's why people love getting on Section 8, because they don't have to worry about a roof over their head. I mean, thinking about it, how the society is so fucked up that basically every month you gotta hustle, make sure you have a substantial amount of money just to keep a fucking roof over your head. In my opinion, we shouldn't have a monetary system. In my opinion, we shouldn't even have. Food, water, and shelter should be free. And when I say water, I mean clean water, not the shit that's coming through the tap. Why would we even have dirty water coming through the tap? So I have a channel called The Enlightened Ones, where I talk about more social issues and more enlightened things, where I get into this economical system and stuff like that. So you can check that video out. But let's stay focused on this one about being a childless woman. Also, being a childless woman, why it's not so great, is because when, I mentioned this in other videos, a couple women in my last job, they had kids, and when I told them I did, they looked shocked. All 3 of the women I told I didn't have kids. Imagine, I didn't just bring it up. They asked me did I have kids. I told them no. They mouth dropped and asked me how old I was. They looked shocked, and they just couldn't believe I didn't have kids, and it's like they didn't know how to respond. And when you don't have kids, people feel they can't relate to you, and they don't know what to talk to you about, because most mothers, only thing they do is talk about their kids all day. That's what it seemed like to me. It's all about their kids, which is what, that's fine. But, when you don't have kids, you have other things that you want to talk about, not just kids. And so they don't know how to relate to you. So it's like you end up being a bubble. And when I try to find people like me, it's hard. Like, I remember meeting this one girl at a Mary Kay event. Well, it was a beauty event, but she had a Mary Kay stand. We got to talking. She had 3 kids at the time by 2 different men, and then she just got pregnant again and had the 4th kid by the 3rd guy. And I looked on her Facebook, which I should not be on Facebook. I deleted my account because I don't need to be on there. I looked on there though one last time, and I said that she's not with the guy anymore. She's single. So I'm like, okay, why you keep? But her first guy she was married to. So she had one of her kids. She was married to the guy, and then they got divorced, and she got pregnant. She got pregnant right before they got divorced, and she had twins, and she had another kid by another guy. Now she just had this one. She's not with him, and this happened within the last 2 years. So I'm like, damn, what happened? And I'm gonna make a video about women, single mothers, some single mothers, and just single motherhood, and my feelings about it. And my feelings aren't very positive, I may add. So if you don't have thick skin, please don't listen to that video. But anyway, just being a childless woman, having to deal with, like I said, the dating scene, not being be able to relate to women your age who already have kids, finding women your age who don't have kids to hang out with. Also, how women with kids seem to get more help. And I'm not saying they shouldn't get more help. I mean, I just feel like everyone should get help. I mean, it shouldn't be a preference. I'm not saying they shouldn't get help. I'm just saying it kind of sucks that I have to push a human being out my pussy to get fucking help. I don't deserve help because I don't have kids. Like, and let me tell you something. You create a society where a person can just have a kid out of wedlock, pick some bum to have a kid with, and not be as selective. Not everybody's situation is like this. I'm not. If this wasn't your situation, please don't comment. I'm talking about the people who picked the loser, had a couple kids, and now is out here on welfare and all this other shit. I'm talking about them. Someone like that, like the lady downstairs, can sit up here and get Section 8 and get her rent paid month to month. That shit ain't fair. And then you got somebody who don't have kids busting their ass, and they're late a day on their rent, and basically they gotta, late fees, and then get kicked out the fucking building. I mean, it's just like, it makes you feel as a woman with no kids, it makes me feel like I should have had kids, either targeted a rich guy and had a couple by him and been living good, or just been a bum ass bitch and kept having kids by different men, got on Section 8, got on food stamps, and just lived like that. And then if I had did that, I mean, think about it, if I had 2 or 3 kids on Section 8, guys, I could have really utilized that. I could have went back to school. Even though I went to school and got my bachelor's, I could have went back to school again. I probably could have got my college paid for. Also, while I get up early, get the kids ready, take them to school. I wrote a book. I want to write another book. I could be, finishing my book, work out. By the time they're out of school, get their food ready, and I go over their homework, cook, clean, whatever, and we go to sleep and do it all over again. Like, that wouldn't have been such a bad life. I would have missed having the man around, the daddy. I would have preferred for that to work. Or let's say another scenario, if I just wanted to have a fucking kid, I could have picked me one of these rich dudes, targeted him, had a couple kids by him, threw him on child support, and got a significant amount of money a month on child support, and rinsed and repeated. Basically, get up early in the morning, take the kids to school, while they're at school, because I want to go back for a health coach, so take my health coaching courses online, finish writing my second book, work out, clean up the house, pick up the kids from school, cook for them, go over their homework, go to sleep, rinse and repeat. And I'm not telling you women to do this. I'm just saying, if I was going to be in a situation, I would have utilized it and really made the most out of it, which I see a lot of women don't make the most out of it. But I the fuck would have. I probably could have got my college paid for. I would have had a roof over my head. I could have focused on my other endeavors, and I would have had beautiful kids. Okay, that I would have loved very much. So I could have went that route, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed like that would have been a better route than the fuck I'm doing now. Had to take out so many loans, had to take out so many student loans because my parents didn't have any money set aside for me to go to college. I had to do that. Busting my ass working these shitty ass jobs. People telling me not wanting to give me a shot, even though I have a bachelor's degree. I don't know if my color got something to do with it. I ain't gonna go there on this video. But my phone is ringing, so think about what I said. Thanks.